one question remains. Why?
Well, she's a speedboat. It's a shit boat. Following cockeyed bastard that'll sink in the bathtub.
Makes you cry to look at her. That's a coffin, boy. Let me know when you're serious. I'll take you down to see Elvin York. You'll make up a sweet little Rodney.
You don't have the sense God gave a donut, do you? I'm going home. The best you can do is bury it. Some dark night.
Well, hey guys, Backwater's Brenton here. A couple of you guys asked in a video or two ago for me to explain a little bit about the Salty Beagle. So how about if I take this opportunity now? I'm here on Manitou Island and I just had dinner and kind of windy. I think I'm just going to stay here tonight. So how about if I give you a little tour? Okay, so I'm going to try not to ramble here. So this boat was built on Vancouver Island. The title says it's a 1994. I've tried to find out some information on the company and the Ocean Sport was what they were called. I don't think they're in business anymore. I have seen a few on Craigslist. I've had this boat for about 2 years. I've seen some on the Canadian equivalent of Craigslist, which I can never pronounce. It's Kajini or Kikini or something like that. I've never seen one with a full cabin though, like this one is. It's a 19-footer, and of course it's welded aluminum. I used to have a Hughescraft Pacific Cruiser, and that was a great boat. It's probably the best boat I've ever had. It might possibly be the best boat I will ever have in my life, you know, the way my personal economy is going. But which kind of brings me to my feelings on this boat. So it has grown on me. On this trip, it has exceeded my expectations, and I'm beginning to like it. I had buyer's remorse when I first bought it. It was springtime, and I was looking for a fishing boat. I just sold my Sea Dory, and I want to get back into welded aluminum because I don't have indoor storage, and so when I have a really nice fiberglass boat, my Sea Dory, I used to store it in my garage, or you know, a little tiny house that I think you guys have seen in other episodes. And it took up all my space all winter long, and you know, you just gotta, if you want to take care of a fiberglass boat, you probably should store it in the winter, especially if you live in an extreme winter climate like I do. So buying a welded aluminum boat kind of solves that problem, because I can just leave it out all winter long, doesn't hurt it. But the regrets I had initially when I bought this boat was it's only 19 feet. You can probably see it has a very small little nose. Kind of makes it look like a toy almost, like a little tugboat or something. And that's great for getting up on plane. Has a short water line. So with that Yamaha 150, it'll plane out and stay on plane at 2,800 RPMs, which is pretty low. So it's good economy. Of course, it's easy to tow with my truck. The good thing about welded aluminum boats, if you know, those that don't know, is it's kind of like the ultimate material for making a boat, because when you weld them, they are tough, they are light, and they're for the most part corrosion resistant. So all those things combined, you know, kind of make for a superior build process, but they're not perfect. They can have problems. I mean, they can crack, they can, you know, people have, you know, you dent them, and then what are you going to do? If I picked up welding aluminum equipment in the spring, and I was going to teach myself how to weld this summer, but the summer just kind of got away from me, and I didn't, you know, get it on my list. But it's going to happen, and I plan some modifications to this boat when I get better at it. I think my first one's going to be, if you see that little swim step on the back, I use that to jump off the back in the morning and, you know, get clean and what have you. And I saw another Ocean Sport on Google where the person or the company either put some bars that came up like this. They kind of went, wow. And so you can actually, you know, it's like a ladder. You can crawl up out of the water and stand on that swim step. And great idea. I don't know why they didn't do it to this one, but so that's gonna be my first project. And here I am rambling. Okay, so when I bought this boat, it came with a older 90s Yamaha oil injected 2-stroke, and it was tired, and I ended up quickly replacing it with that used Yamaha 150 4-stroke that's on it, which I got a pretty decent deal on it. I had about 1,000 hours on it, and it's great. Better economy. I hardly want anything but a 4-stroke these days. And then I had that Yamaha 4-horse kicker just laying around. I picked it up a few years ago off of Craigslist somewhere real cheap. It needed some work, and they kind of have a common problem. All of them do, so sometimes you can find them really cheap. So, little secret for you, and they're really easy to fix. If you ever have that problem, let me know, and I'll tell you how to fix it. Okay, so I put a new kicker bracket on it just about a month ago. It's a Panther bracket. It's just the other one that was on it was really worn out, and you know, it needed to be replaced. Craigslist is like my best friend. I get stuff dirt cheap on it all the time. This boat has 3 gas tanks, so that indentation on the transom right there is a gas tank, and I believe it holds 25 gallons. I haven't confirmed that. It's either 20 or 25. And then these 2 on the side here, they're called saddle tanks. Those each hold, I think, 20. So this boat holds about 65 gallons of gas, if I'm not mistaken. It might hold 70. I can't really tell, but you know, all things considered, if you can go a long time, even at wide open throttle on 65 gallons. So it's definitely an ocean boat. It's an ocean fishing boat, made for fishing off the coast of British Columbia, and it does a great job here on the Great Lakes. Okay, so keep looking around here. So I need to redo the interior. It had 2 seats. There's the captain's seat, and there was another one just like it right there. I cut it out, and I'm going to put a platform right there for sleeping. But I wanted to kind of find out on this trip whether I even could handle keeping this boat because, you know, of the size. But I think it's going to be a great little fishing / exploration boat for the Great Lakes. Especially if it's just me and Wavey. If it's 2 people, it's gonna be really tight. So, you know, I'll just kind of take it as I go. But so yeah, not much to show in there. There's a little cuddy. It's too small to really sleep in unless you're a midget. So that's the bummer. I think, you know, in hindsight, I probably would not have bought this boat if I was going to do it again. But now that I'm kind of stuck with it, I'm going to make the best of it, and you know, there's worse things to be stuck with. So I probably paid, at first I thought I paid too much for it, but it's over time I've realized what I did is I probably just paid market value for it, which to me feels like too much because I'm used to just getting screaming deals because I have no other choice. So then there's a lot of boats out there, and there's more boats than buyers, really. So some boats you can't even give away, while other ones, you know, keep their value. Usually welded boats with a cabin do keep their value. But I'm into this boat about $17,000, which is a lot of money. But if you go out and you look at what welded boats go for these days, you know, it'll shock you because they just quadruple in price once you get into welded. So I put this little roof rack on it. I'm eventually going to weld up an aluminum roof rack that covers the whole roof, but for now, that's just one I picked up off of, you guessed it, Craigslist, and it's like for a car or a truck or something, and it's working great. All my crap up there, and my kayak, obviously, and I'm going to put some kind of bowsprit on it so that the anchors ride better. Obviously, that's a pretty rinky-dink setup right there, but it gets the job done for this trip. And I'm going to repaint the surfaces, the top surfaces for walking, so you can see that someone did half of the front there, probably for stepping out on the front, and I'm going to do the whole thing again with no skid paint. And another thing I'll mention quickly is this is actually a self-bailing boat, or it has a self-bailing deck. And so for those that might not know what that is, I'm sure a lot of you do, but just quickly I'll explain it, is that you basically have two choices with a boat. You have a self-bailing deck, or any water that gets on the deck, it goes below the floor and it goes in the bilge, and then your bilge pump pumps it out. I would rather have a bilge. You never can really keep your self-bailing deck dry. Water always gets in it. I ended up, as you can see, I'll see if I can go in here. I actually use wine corks to plug mine. So mine, I would have to pull those out if I was going to try to bail water out. And what I do is I have a little hand bilge that every once in a while, if I get like rainwater in there in the corners, I just pump it out in the morning or whatever. But I'm going to cut that floor out, and I'm going to put a new floor in on the deck and make it a bilge deck. So, okay, guys. Well, I hope this was interesting. I'll see if I'll try to attach this to the end of an episode. And yeah, if you guys ever think about getting a welded aluminum boat, you know, put a comment below, and or ask for my contact info if you want some advice. Or you know, I'm not an expert, but I certainly know a few things about them, and I'd recommend them overall. I mean, they are super tough, they're super light, and they have a lot going for them, so, and they keep their value. So, okay, guys, I will catch you later.